Hi, welcome to another vodcast episode of Don't Worry About the Government. I'm Ronnie Weiss. I'm in the Bronx.
I'm Flimson Dingle.
Flimson.
Yes.
Today we're talking about killing people and why you don't like it. What's the good word?
Speaking as Flimson Dingle, am not a big fan of killing people. No, but seriously, I think that I was talking to Joe earlier today, and we were talking about these drone strikes. So there's a news story that
good arguments start.
Well, as many good arguments, make constructive conversation start. I was talking to Joe earlier today, and there's a news story out this morning that we've killed 15 more militants. Remember, militants is the U.S.'s keyword for any military male over the age of 18 who's not a U.S. citizen in these countries. We killed 15 more militants, bringing our death toll up to about 30 over the last 3 days here. And I was talking to Joe, and I sort of asked him a pointed question, which I think you think is a little unfair, but I want to ask it first, which is, what's the ratio of terrorist to civilian deaths that someone is comfortable with drone strikes? For people who are comfortable with drone strikes, at what point is the collateral damage too much? Where's critical mass?
So the first thing I want to address is it isn't 15 militants. It says 15 people, the article you posted. I corrected you on the Facebook page too. So it's pretty bland, this
article.
It
says militants in the article.
U.S. drone strike kills 15. It says 15 people. So I don't see any claims that we killed 15 militants. So that's the first thing. We've killed 15 people. That's aside from the point of what drone strikes do. So what number is applicable? To me, it's case by case. That's why this is such a tough question to answer. It's a matter of can you get this person in another way? Is this somebody who's an imminent threat, etc.? And the problem with this article you posted, and it's my assumption is we're not going to find any more information otherwise as of now, is who was this person? Who did we go after? 15 people are dead. I mean, honestly, it's almost to the other end. We don't even know. It targeted a militant. Did we even get a militant? All we know is 15 people are dead. We know nothing. So That's a concern. So to me, what I look at this is I disregard the question because it is so case by case. But we as the public are not getting any of the case by case information. And I think we should be to an extent. If we're engaging in these countries and risking treasure and perception and killing people, I think the American public deserves to know a bit more than this article is saying. This is a New York Times article, and the New York Times is thorough enough that I would hope that if they had more information, they'd be giving it.
Man, you look at this Reuters article. I mean, honestly, this article could apply to
Reuters. It's Reuters.
It's a Reuters repost on the New York Times.
It is on the New York Times.
Yeah. And it honestly could serve as a boilerplate for any drone strike story over the last 15 months.
It's almost like The Onion with no humor.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, look, here are some phrases. The U.S. and Pakistan are deadlocked in difficult negotiations for reopening of overland supply routes to NATO forces in Afghanistan. No breakthroughs in sight. That's not even time sensitive. That honestly could apply to anything over the last 3 months here. All these final stances could apply. The Pakistan government says the CIA drone campaigns fuel anti-American sentiment in the country and is counterproductive because of collateral damage.
It's almost like one of those obituaries they write before the person died, too, where it's just like they just filled in the blank of the number 15. No, I mean, that's my concern with this, that we just aren't getting enough information. And then on the other end, it's what are we accomplishing? Who are we going after anymore? It doesn't even tell us. Literally, within this little short piece, we don't know who we were going after or why. So that makes me really question if this is the information that's being released, do we know who we're going after and why?
Is this even transparency in the first place, right? Like, how can you even call this transparency when what we basically have out here is a fluff piece, being completely frank? It's a boilerplate.
But not even. I mean, if you parse it at all, look at this. Like, you were pitching it as, we've killed 15 militants. We haven't necessarily killed any militants.
It targeted a militant hideout. But it really we targeted the Hesakol village in the North Waziristan tribal regions. So that could just be a village. There's no reason to even think that that's even a terrorist hideout per se.
So, this is the question, too. Are these even Al-Qaeda? They could just be militants in Pakistan. Like, I mean, what are we even doing anymore? It's not clear and it's not transparent.
Yeah, and for me, it's sort of like, I think that there's merit. The idea is not, do these drone strikes work when it comes to killing people? Of course they do. Clearly, we've got the article right in front of us. The question is, what are we doing them for? Is there an overarching goal of this mission? Can drone strikes actually effectively get that goal? And is it worth it to be going around killing people? And maybe is killing people who are civilians, who are innocent, counterproductive to our mission? My other question for people on the left, and actually I have to wrestle with this too myself because I am actually for the death penalty, but for people who are opposed to the death penalty, how do they go about rationalizing drone campaigns if you are for drone campaigns?
I think it's a very different sort of a thing. I mean, it's a
state-sponsored murder.
No, but if you okay, so it's within the same category if you really want it to be. But if somebody kills somebody, it's a question of whether or not you think that person then should be killed, whether the government has the ability to discern if that's where it's actually the same. That's the crux of it, which I think is similar, but overarching, there's a lot of differences. But the crux is, does the government have enough information that that going after these militants is the same thing? It's the concern of, what if you kill the wrong person with the death penalty? Well, you're definitely, most assuredly, killing additional people who've done presumably nothing wrong in the confines of killing this one person. And do you know for sure that this one person did anything wrong? And are you even necessarily going after that one person? That is where the argument is actually the same.
Well, the other thing, just taking it a bit further, I'd throw out there, too, is at what point are we going after people and killing people for what we would call thought crime in 1984 speak, or kind of in the Minority Report thing of preemption? These guys haven't necessarily done any terrorist attacks yet. They've just organized.
Well, that becomes more of an al-Awlaki thing. But, I mean, the crux of what you're asking is, how much should we go after somebody who is legitimately a militant if it's killing people around them? I mean, right? That's what it's about.
Right? Yeah, for sure. How much do we kill Bin Laden if it means killing 20 other people around him?
And these are questions we don't have the information to. And what I would argue at this point, and this is a new argument for me personally, actually, is that while we'll never have all the information as just the public, and I don't think we should, we can have more than we get right now. I mean, to me, if we're seeing articles like this one of 15 people are dead, we may as well not be seeing any article at all, because there's nothing to discern from that. And I feel like we should be getting more information to know whether or not our government is doing something more or doing the right thing or not. I don't think we have enough public oversight at this point of what's going on over there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty valid. So I think we need to tell people where they can find the show.
Facebook.com/DWATG and at don'tworry.tv. I'm Ronnie Weiss. This was Flimsing.
Twitter.
What? Twitter.com
Twitter.com
/DWATG. Twitter.com/Chris Novembrino and Ronnie Weiss. And you can also find Joe Genie at Joe's Keys. That's it.
/home.
All right. Enjoy your drone. Boom.